Quite well. What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DTLF back with another video. Man, we got some interesting information today, as well as some updates on the NBA restart of next season. I cannot wait, guys. It seems like it's going to be sooner rather than later. It was rumored to be around January 18th, but now we're hearing that it's going to be potentially a lot sooner than that. So I'm going to update you on all that. I want to talk about the Dwight Howard hate that he catches from Shaq all the time. I also want to talk about Rob Pelinka on the Woj podcast, gave away some of his future plans, and I wanted to fill you guys in on those. Very excited. How you guys doing today? How are my favorite champs? Laker Nation in the house today. Hopefully you guys are doing great. The Dodgers are playing. I believe the game just started. I will go watch this game right after this video. But yes, go Dodgers. But I wanted to break things down with you guys, and right now was the perfect opportunity before I go to work later. So let's start. Where do we start off, guys? Let's start off with the updates to the NBA season. That's for all the fans, not just Laker fans. It is rumored that the NBA is pinpointing a target date of December 22nd, which is 2 days after my birthday. So that'll be huge for me. I would love it if it's December 22nd, a little bit before Christmas, just in time to play in those Christmas Day games. Oh, man, that would be amazing. Basically, we would have a little over a month, around 2 months to prepare for the season, which is very ideal. Remember, they already had a big, huge layoff with the COVID. So they already basically got a lot of rest, and I think they'll be good to go. I know 2 months is shorter than usual, but normally the offseason is 4 to 5 months. So it's welcome for an NBA fan. You want the season to start. You want to defend the title for us Laker fans. But now before getting into the offseason, we got a lot coming up in the offseason, and I wanted to talk to you guys about Rob Pelinka's plans. Now, recently he went on the Wojnarowski podcast, the Adrian Wojnarowski podcast, and he basically talked about the championship. He talked about, how he wants the Lakers to compete for another championship this year and future plans. Now, the title of the video is not clickbait, guys. I actually believe Rob has a plan in place to dominate for the next, decade or so, and that's by basically handing off the baton to another young star, his words, before LeBron retires. So here's the plan. Here's what I think is going to happen. Oh, yours is the 20th as well. That's what's up, Max. We're blood brothers, man. That's crazy. Happy birthday to you early. Yeah, mine's the 20th as well. So, but here's what I think is going to happen with the Lakers, guys. So Rob Pelinka plans on re-signing most of the key role players this season, and if he can make a splash in the offseason, I think it's going to be something minor, nothing major. I doubt we make a huge splash as far as trading for a star or getting somebody major in free agency, because there's not too many major free agents. The main thing is that Rob Pelinka wants the Lakers to keep cap flexibility. That's the one thing he underlined in his interview with Woj, is that he's looking at the 2021 offseason cap, which is next summer. And that's when guys like elite players become free agents. I'm talking Giannis, I'm talking Bradley Beal, amongst many others. So his plan is to compete for a title this year, defend the championship, obviously, re-sign most of your key veterans for one-year deals. If we can't get those, he's probably going to go for other guys, maybe Serge Ibaka, maybe Gallinari, whoever's interested in competing for a championship on one-year deals. And trust me, there will be options. I will get into the Dwight situation just a little bit. Let me finish covering this. And so what I think Rob Pelinka is, based off his interview, he wants to compete this year and then go all in, push the chips forward to get another, his words, young star. All right, so that takes the Chris Paul rumor, which I already thought was bogus, out of the equation. We're not looking to get older. We're looking to get younger, and which makes perfect sense. I told you guys I would prefer going that route. And so he's looking for a young star. He said somebody that has an amazing skill set. So I'm talking Bradley, Giannis, guys amongst that range. Maybe even he makes a trade for a disgruntled Devin Booker. Who knows? A lot of things could be on the table by 2021 offseason. All I'm saying is that Rob is a very, very intelligent shark, and I'm so impressed with his plan to dominate the next decade. And what I mean by this is he says LeBron isn't slowing down, which he's not. However, he wants to take some pressure off of him by finding another pair for Anthony Davis for the future. That way Anthony re-signs long-term. And so what I think is going to happen based off his interview, I think AD and Rob Pelinka are going to agree to a shorter deal And then once Rob Pelinka brings that other star that's going to, lead us into the future along Anthony Davis, whether it be Giannis or whoever it is, then I think Anthony Davis will sign that long-term contract after he's 30, right? Which makes sense because then he's eligible for the Supermax, right? Right now he's not, because he's under 30. I don't believe he's eligible for the Supermax. So right now he would just get a max extension, which is good. But if he can do a 1+1 and keep his options open, I'm sure Rob Pelinka, it puts the pressure on the front office to continue building Contender for the future because Anthony Davis doesn't just want to compete with championships with LeBron James. When LeBron James' time comes, Anthony Davis wants to carry that baton, as we always do in Laker history. You pass it down to the next superstar, and he carries your franchise forward. This is why Rob has been amazing as a GM. He's kept our cap flexibility. He's trying to get Luol Deng off the books. He filed for that injury exception since he didn't play over 25 games with, was it the Timberwolves where we traded him to? So or when we cut him and he signed with the T-Wolves, he didn't play more than 25 games. So we may be eligible for that injury exception, which is basically, his career ended because he was always injured and we shouldn't have to take a cap hit on our salary. If he can do that, he'll free up $10 million, guys, over the next couple seasons to spend however the Lakers please, which is huge, huge. So Rob has a master plan, and I'm here for it, man. He wants to get another young star, whether it be Zach LaVine, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, who's around the same age as Anthony Davis. They could carry this franchise forward together and maybe even add another piece after that. But he said, hey, what's up, Denver Nuggets, baby? How you doing, bro? He said, what's good, Dan? And all of Laker Nation, one love. Congrats on the Lakers again. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. What's up, man? Doing good. Just got the update that the NBA season might restart December 22nd, so I'm super hyped for that, guys. The TV partners and the NBA met today, so that's what they're circling. A couple more updates. This is going to be a shortened season, meaning, remember, for years they talked about not playing an 82-game season and making certain little tweaks because, players were complaining that the season was too long. Well, guess what? Much to their pleasure, this next season most likely is going to be a 72-game season. So they're already cutting it by 10. I wouldn't be shocked if next season they cut it by 10 more, 62 games. But it may just be 72 permanently. I don't know. Maybe it's just because they're trying to finish the season before the Olympics, which is rumored that they want some of the United States athletes to obviously represent the country in the Olympics coming up in the summer of 2021. So a lot of things factor into this. There most likely will not be an All-Star game, so that's unfortunate, but it's very understandable. The All-Star is mostly for the fans and the fan bases, and so if you can't have too many fans in the stands, it would be a really weird All-Star game, right? I don't know how they would be able to pull that off, but maybe the commissioner comes up with something from here till then. Still a long ways away. Regardless, I'm very happy with the fact that Rob Pelinka has a plan moving forward, and he's not complacent with this one championship, because a lot of times a front office person, they always say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they don't tweak their roster. Next thing you know, they lose. They don't defend the crown properly because, they weren't geared with the proper tools to defend that championship. So I think Rob is a shark. He's smart. He's intelligent. He's going to build a formidable defending champ this summer for this upcoming season. And then I think he's going to go all in, push all the chips forward to the table to try to land a max contract in the offseason of 2021. So that's the plan. And if he does that, Anthony Davis and the filler player, plus LeBron, who doesn't seem to be slowing down, will carry this team for the foreseeable future. And then when LeBron retires, don't be shocked if they go out and try to get another star. So Rob Pelinka doing what he's supposed to do. I want to give him a round of applause. Man, he definitely deserves Executive of the Year, GM of the Year, and he got robbed. Ironically, his name is Rob, right? So Rob got robbed, and it's unfortunate because, he's done an exceptional job. Think about it. He helped us get to the championship. He pulled off that blockbuster trade after Magic Johnson quit and got us Anthony Davis, a mega star, to pair with LeBron to help him compete in the small window that he has left. And then on top of that, now he's trying to clear some more cap by, applying for that exemption. He's trying to get creative. Now, granted, the NBA maybe won't like this because it is the Lakers and they won't approve us, but other teams have gotten away with it. So we'll see what happens there. I will update you guys as soon as I hear anything. Make sure you smash the like button because it does help me on the algorithm. So appreciate you guys there. Now, if you guys have any questions, I'm a chatterbox. You guys know I'm here for you. Always doing my research. And so my guy, John, said Lakers shouldn't go after Giannis. He'd be a bad fit with LeBron. if he's still playing, he exposed him in the playoffs, and the Lakers go all in on Levine, who's an absolute best fit with AD and Brown. Here's the thing, John. When you build a franchise, you don't want to go for the best fit always. Sometimes it's okay. If you're playing within the system, it's okay. But when you have mega stars like LeBron and AD, you add Giannis to the equation or Kawhi or any mega star, it's going to fit in. It really doesn't matter because they'll make it work. Remember, people said LeBron and AD wouldn't work either. So I'm not concerned about that. A lot of LeBron fans I know don't want Giannis because they don't want him taking some of the credit for LeBron's championships. I get that. But here in LA, we're all about championships. Don't matter who we need to get the job done, we're all for it. Whether it be Giannis, Zach LaVine, whoever helps us get more championships, we're for it. We're not here about taking credit, and we don't care about the damn pie charts and who gets more championships. Which brings me to my next point. We love Shaquille O'Neal, the big diesel. You guys seen my big cutout. I love Shaq. I have nothing against him. I'm not going to tear him down because that's not what I do here, man. We respect Laker legends. They mess up along the way sometimes, but they're still Laker legends. Now, I will have to address his jealousy, man, because throughout his career, he's had this horrible jealousy trait that was on full display when Kobe was there. And now, even at his age, you would think he would have matured already. So, Big Diesel, big fella, if you're watching this, please, no hate, man. All love, brother. You got to love Laker Nation, man, especially when a role player like Dwight helped us get to this chip. You have to show him love, respect, and admiration. He humbled himself. He took a smaller role. He took a smaller paycheck, and he helped us. Without him, who knows? Maybe Denver puts up more of a fight. Maybe they take us to 7. Who knows? He neutralized a lot of bigs in the Western Conference on our way to the championship. And so hats off to Dwight. He's a champion. We'll forever love him. Laker Nation respects a champion. Whether it be Danny Green, Kuzma, Dwight, or LeBron, or Anthony Davis, doesn't matter. They're all champions in our book. So hopefully the Dodgers will be there as well very, very soon. But yes, I wanted to address Shaq because I think his jealousy trait is something that's going to destroy him, man. Everybody knows you were the superior player to Dwight. You don't need to be jealous of him. Let him have his shine. Let him have his moment. No need to critique him. No need to tell him how to celebrate. You're not his daddy. And so, with all due respect, Shaq Diesel, the city of Los Angeles loves you, but we have to reprimand you a little bit, man, because you're getting out of line with that. You always let a Laker champ celebrate his championship, whether it be Derek Fisher, Sasha, or Adam Morrison. They're all champions, and we love them forever, whether it be Shannon Brown. You get the point. So just wanted to clear that up, man. Never want to disrespect a legend. A lot of people calling Shaq a bum, this, and that. No, Shaq is entitled to his opinion. However, like Mama said, man, if you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Straight up. Especially when they Lakers, man. We protect them like they're our own. So real Laker fans know what's up, man. We go to war for our players. But anyways, back to the relevant talk about basketball. So December 22nd, Rob Pelinka is on his Shark game. I can't wait for that. And if you guys have any questions and any concerns, yes, he did apply for that exception, that injury exception. Hopefully, Lil Ding will come off the salary cap books and we'll have more cap to operate. If we get that extra 10 mil, we may even be able to get somebody like Serge Ibaka or somebody like Gallinari, somebody who might be a little overpaid, but on a one-year deal. So this could be huge for the Lakers. My guy said, unfortunately, the Lakers don't have the assets to get any good names. I doubt it, man. And by the way, it's not about assets. The Lakers have plenty of assets because trust me, when you win a championship, your trade value of every single player elevates ×2. So now you're hearing these rumors about Alex Caruso. We're the only ones that were calling him baby goat. Now the world has seen what he can do. His trade value went up. Not saying we want to trade him, but I'm just saying his trade value went up. People trashing Kuzma, they don't know. Other GMs are salivating over him and his potential and what he can do as a primary or secondary option on his own team. So he has trade value. Danny Green is a champion on 3 different teams. That doesn't happen by accident. Yes, he didn't have the best performance, but he has trade value. Every single player on this championship roster's trade value has skyrocketed because they helped. They were, especially the crucial ones, the crucial role players. They were, indicative to this championship. They were crucial pieces to the puzzle. So everybody knows that in basketball, yes, you need your superstars, but you definitely need your role players as well. And so a lot of teams sometimes are looking for guidance for younger players, and they look for guys like Danny Green. They look for veterans like Rondo. And so, you know what I'm saying? All I have to say is I hope that we bring back the majority of this roster, maybe a couple of tweaks, and maybe adding without subtracting too much. a player like Serge Ibaka, that would be huge. All we need is one player like that. Can you imagine the front line of Ibaka and Anthony Davis just protecting the rim and stretching the floor? Mind blown. Ain't nobody want to see that in a 7-game series. So we'll see what happens. My guy, hey, he said Kuz plus Green plus the 28th pick for DeRozan. That's too much. I think DeRozan's trade value is not that high, especially since he wants to leave. That always lowers their trade value because we're like sharks in the water. You smell blood. You know they want to be there. It's not good. They try to get rid of him as quickly as possible. So we'll see, though. He said, Dan. She said, hey, what's up, Jackie? She said, Dan, you're always right. So do you believe Giannis will actually go to the Lakers over the Heat, Raptors, or Warriors? It's too early to gauge that. A lot of it, Jackie, is going to depend on how this season goes. If Giannis doesn't even come close to winning the championship, he might be desperate enough to just jump on the Lakers' coattails and win one with LeBron and AD. And what I mean by desperate, I don't mean he's not welcome. I just mean that's the easiest route he can take. Now, if he wants a little bit of a challenge, maybe he'll go elsewhere. But I'm telling you right now, a team of Giannis, LeBron, and AD, regardless of what any basketball experts say that it's not a good fit, will dominate for the next 5 to 6 to 7 years. I'm serious. It'll even prolong LeBron James' career. So LeBron fans should actually want that if they want their guy to continue winning chips. You know, adding superstars prolong players' careers. I can only imagine that Kobe wouldn't have torn his Achilles potentially had Chris Paul trade not been vetoed. So that always hurts me to think of, you know. And I don't want to hear none of this overpowered stuff because every team will do whatever it takes to win championships at any chance. Why shouldn't Laker fans want their team to improve? So, great question. Great question. Would you like to trade Kuz, Green, and the 28th pick for Oladipo or Buddy Hield or maybe DeRozan? Too much. None of those players you mentioned have that much trade value. I'm telling you right now. What you're undervaluing our players, Alchemy, big time, like severely. Maybe one of those players in the pick will be more acceptable, but both of those players in the pick is too much. First, Oladipo. He's coming off of an injury. He hasn't been the same player as of last year, and he's looking for a max contract. Nobody knows if he's going to be a max player. The only upside, he's on a contract year, and he's probably going to ball out. But I'm not sure he's a super max type player or even a max type player. Buddy Hield hasn't proven himself in the league. That's a hell no. I'd rather keep both of my players, even though he can shoot. But you don't want to trade a player that has one asset for players that have been champions and have experience like Danny Green and Kuz. You know what I'm saying? And DeRozan is probably the best choice for that package that I would say I wouldn't be too excited because I still feel like we're giving up a lot for a player who may be disgruntled and doesn't want to be on the Spurs anymore. But it's more acceptable as far as skill-wise goes. You're getting a player with experience. You're getting an all-star, and you're getting a player who is capable of defending and playing on both sides of the ball. So, DeRozan is probably the best package you mentioned, but I still would rather hold on to those two guys and the pick. The pick, I think, is going to be crucial this year. I'm dropping a video. I'm still analyzing all the prospects. Remember, normally I use March Madness to break it down. Since we didn't have it this year, I'm going to take my time, and I'll drop a video sometime before the draft breaking down who the Lakers should take with that pick, potentially, if we keep it. So, hey, what's up, Alfred? He said, hello, Dan. How are you? Always enjoy your live streams. Go Dodger Blue. Go Dodgers, baby. And I appreciate you, bro. I'm doing great, man. Thanks for asking. I just had my anniversary with my girlfriend. We went out to Venice Beach. It was beautiful. And I bought her something nice in the mall. Bought myself something nice. So it was a great time, man. And this offseason has felt amazing. Like, yes, I still miss my Lakers, but you don't miss them as much knowing that we're champs and we just want to relish this moment. But I still want basketball as soon as possible because I just love it that much. Did you see Magic Johnson joking about Luka to the Lakers on First Take 2 weeks ago? Oh, yeah. I never take what he says serious. He's more like us. He's a fan. But, I mean, that's wishful thinking. Luka's not leaving Dallas for at least the next, 5 to 6 years. Remember, when rookies' contract ends, they become restricted free agents, which means a superstar like Luka is not going anywhere. No matter what kind of contract anybody throws at them, they're going to match it. So that's definitely wishful thinking, man. And we shouldn't even be talking about Luka because he's not even on the radar for the next 5 to 6 years. Dan, we should go with Desmond Bane if we keep the pick. There's a lot of good options there, man. And I'll break it down for you guys for real. A lot of good options. As much as I love Jeremy Grant, I wouldn't mind trading Jeremy Grant to the Lakers for Kyle Kuzma, but I know Lakers organization will probably want more, and rightfully so. I'm the wrong guy to talk to about Kuzma trades. I'm a little biased, man. I'm a Kuzma fan. and I wish him the best. Now, if he does go to a team, I would prefer a team that doesn't have any stars because I want him to flourish wherever he goes. Your team already has stars, so he's not really going to benefit much from going from the Lakers to Denver because he'd still be the third or fourth option. And so, I think Kuz is better than what a lot of fans give him credit for. A lot of people are very impatient, as we've proven with all the young core throughout the year. So hopefully next year, he's on a contract year now. I was talking to somebody who was saying, shouldn't we trade Kuz because he's on a contract year? He's going to want a big extension. And I said, it's a win-win for the Lakers if we keep him, if you think about it. For one, we can go over the cap to re-sign our guy, and we're going to have tons of cap space next offseason. So that's not really a problem. For two, he's going to be in a contract season, which means most likely he's going to put up way bigger numbers trying to get paid. Worst case scenario, if he puts up similar numbers, you won't have to pay him that much. You know what I'm saying? You won't have to pay him that much. So bottom line is Kuzma is a very good role player as it stands right on the team, who has star potential, even though people no longer see it that way because they're stat geeks and they just love looking at stats, primarily stats. And yes, he struggled. He went through a couple of slumps. But I think the playoff experience is going to be crucial for him. I think he's going to flourish just a little bit more next season, having another year playing with AD and LeBron and these guys. And I think he's in a contract year, so it's in his best interest to put those numbers up for those stat geeks that always complain about him averaging, 13 or 14 points a game, which is still very good on a team that just won a championship. So bottom line is Kuz no bum. Anybody who knows basketball, they know what's up. I feel like a lot of people, and this is going to make people pissed off, especially people with girlfriends, but I feel like a lot of people dislike Kuz because their girlfriend thinks he's cute. That's just what I heard, straight up. And I go on Twitter all the time. Girls love Kuz. So I think guys are a little jealous, man. I think that's what it is because I never understood the hatred for Kuz. I mean, he's a good role player. He knocks down clutch shots, even though he didn't do it in the finals. He plays solid defense. He's improved in that. And he's a much better playmaker than people give him credit for. So what's to hate about the young kid, What's to hate? He said Flight Mike is jealous of Kuz. That's what I'm saying. It just feels that way. I don't see why they hate on the kid. If anything, he's our youngest, more developed player that we have. Not the youngest. Obviously, we have Talon Horton-Tucker, but he's the youngest proven player that we have. Talon Horton-Tucker still has to prove himself consistently. If not, he's going to catch similar hate. But bottom line is I'm looking forward to seeing what this kid Talon Horton-Tucker could do as well. I'm a big fan of his. I told you guys about him when he was in the G League, and he showed out in his short minutes he had in the playoffs, but I think they went a long way. I think this is going to do wonders for the kid's confidence. Rookies normally don't play in the playoffs like that unless they were lottery picks. So, I think I can't wait to see how Frank Vogel uses him. He also said, recently in an interview that they wanted to give him a lot more minutes. They just couldn't fit him anywhere due to veterans, obviously favoring veterans and stuff like that. So thanks, Alfred. Appreciate you. What do you think about what Shaq said about Howard? I covered it earlier in the video. You could always feel free to rewind it, but just a little rundown. I don't support it. I still respect the legendary Shaq. Laker fans, when you help us win and you've been a legend for us, you get like some sort of pass because, we're not going to disrespect Shaq. Real Laker fans will never. We love Shaq, the big diesel, but we're also not going to disrespect Dwight, and we're going to come to his defense, and we're going to check Shaq just a little bit, respectfully so. Hey, Terrell Bolden, appreciate you, bro. He said, Kuz is affordable, ascending, and has outplayed a ton of people that drafted before him. Great point. That's another point. I mean, I never look at draft picks and or sequence in order. I think that's a poor way of evaluating talent. Like where was he picked? He's supposed to play like this. Nah, I just look at young players as everybody has their own timeline and there's bumps along the road. For example, D'Angelo, Clarkson, Randall, Ingram, basically every young player that we traded away has become really good, if not stars around the league. And that's due to the fact that, like I had mentioned when Luke was here, he was a very poor coach and he didn't know what the heck he was doing. He didn't give these guys the green light. He was supposed to be a player's coach, but he was trash. And this is why Buddy Hield doesn't like him out there in Sacramento. And this is why De'Aaron Fox, even though he was injured, to be fair, but regressed a little bit this season. This guy is really bad at player development. He's really bad at coaching, period. I think I could, not to sound arrogant or cocky, but I think if I stepped in here, I probably would do a little bit of a better job than Luke Walton. No offense to any Luke Walton fans out there, but I don't see the X's and O's. I don't see the creativity. I don't see the proper usage of lineups with him, and I definitely see a lot of regression from young players that he takes under the helm. So yeah, I think all those players regressed because they played under Luke. I can only imagine. What would have happened if they played under the current Laker coaching staff with Phil and all these, not Phil Jackson, Phil what's his name, Phil Handy. Great development player coach. He's done it throughout his career. He did it in Cleveland. He did it in different places in Toronto, and he's just great at developing young players, especially on the defensive end. But yeah, Luke Walton was pretty much idiotic in his coaching, and they regressed with him. Everybody regressed with him. So yeah, I think sometimes young players, they have a different timeline, but coaching matters as well, and the way they utilize and the trust that the coach puts in them. The one thing that stood out to me was the way that Rondo thanked Coach Frank Vogel for believing in him. Think about this. Rondo, a veteran, a champion. There's so many ridiculous coaches out there that they didn't give him the green light. They didn't let him be what he wants to be. And so, like I told you guys, Frank Vogel, I was happy when we got him because I knew he was capable of helping lead this team to a championship. I didn't think he was a great coach. Like, obviously, he's not, Popovich. He's not on that level. He's not on the Phil Jackson level, but he is a good coach. And maybe over time, he'll become a great coach. And I'm very happy with Frank Vogel. Did he get me upset at certain times? Sure. Nobody's perfect. But what Frank has done has been amazing. He's made adjustments mid-playoff series, in the finals even, by putting Caruso in that Game 6. Huge. It made all the difference. And I told you guys I was very pleased with that. And I told you guys the great ones make adjustments on the fly. The good ones, it takes them a while, but they eventually make the change. And that's what Frank Vogel did. So he said trading Kuz is a bad because you won't get the value back, and let him get better. He'll be fine. Talon Horton Tucker too. Agreed, man. Agreed. And people don't understand. They think, let's just trade Kuz for this superstar, Kuz for that superstar. First off, most stars that get traded away for lottery picks or other stars. That's number one. Or unless they're in desperation mode, then they'll accept a couple role players and some picks, maybe. Secondly, Kuzma's contract is very low. I forgot what it was, but I'm not even sure it's in the 2-3 millions. I think it's somewhere between 2 and 3. And he's still on that rookie scale contract, I believe. So, what can you get in return for that amount of money? Remember, it has to kind of make sense dollars, but it has to be on the same level, cap-wise and everything. So, yeah, people just, I don't know, man. Why they hate on Kuzma, I'll never understand it. I have theories about it. Don't want to point any fingers, but I have theories about it. That's all I know. And I told you guys one of them earlier. So he said, honestly, Dan, I want Zach LaVine. What is it going to take to get Zach LaVine? Do we have the trade pieces? That's question number one. Question number two, is he a max contract? Is he going to want max dollars when his contract expires? I love Zach LaVine. I'd love to have him. But what is it going to take to get Zach LaVine? Now, if you look at the Bulls, they're a young, up-and-coming team, but very young, very raw. They don't have any winning experience. So maybe they take Danny Green, a role player like Alex Caruso, and a pick for Zach LaVine. If they want a tank and they want somebody like Danny Green to teach their young role players, and Caruso's obviously the biggest trade chip because this guy, I don't want to trade him at all. But I'm just telling you, right now, Zach LaVine's trade value, I'm not sure where it's at. It depends on the Bulls. And always, for some reason, with the Lakers, I've noticed other teams get stars like Andre Drummond and stuff like that for nothing. And when the Lakers try to make a trade with them, they're trying to ask for an arm and a leg because the league hates us like that. So we have to be very smart how we navigate trades. We have to check out the cap fluctuation salary, how much we have, where their contract is. Everything matters because the offseason, we're going to have tons of cap space. Think about it. Even LeBron's going to be able to opt out. Meaning we're just going to have literally AD on under contract. Imagine all the cap space, all the great players we can sign, and then, boom, go over the cap to re-sign LeBron. That's how you win championships. You got to be a sharp. Rob Pelinka is smart. He knows he's not liked around the league, so trades are probably off. The Anthony Davis trade, thank God he requested a trade to the Lakers. If not, we wouldn't have him right now. That's number one. That was like that was just a miracle that happened after we got Gasol years back. Nobody wanted to give us that type of player again. So he said, not giving up Caruso over Kuzma. I wouldn't give up either one of them. I don't see why we have to go fully old. Why not just keep the young pieces with the veterans we already have and just add to that? But again, my theories. What about Gallinari? I'd love to have him, but he's going to have to take a discount because we don't have too much cap space, especially with guys like KCP and Rondo coming off the books, they're going to want to get paid just a little bit more. So even though I'd love to have Gallinari, he's always been one of my favorites shooters around the league since he was with the Knicks. Obviously, that's my second favorite team. You guys know that. But yeah, when he was with the Knicks, he had a lot of promise, and he's lived up to it. He's a like 17-point per game scorer, which would work wonders for the Lakers. A lot of people trash his defense, but remember, he's capable. He's willing. And our championship team, I think he would elevate that, especially playing for a coaching staff like Frank. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Again, this offseason is a big mystery, big question mark for me, because from what I heard in the Wojnarowski podcast with Rob Pelinka, Rob's trying to keep all of his flexibility for next season. So how many players are willing to take a short-term deal to come win a championship? That's the real question. And from that pool of players, we have to make sure we choose the right ones, especially if we lose anybody like KCP or Rondo or Dwight. Those are crucial key role players. He said, would you please address Christian Wood, unrestricted Detroit? Well, Christian Wood played for a losing team. This is my concern with those type of players. And I told you this, the same thing with Marcus. Was it Marcus Morris? When he was with the Knicks, I wasn't sold on him because even though he was putting up 18 points per game, my argument of why you don't trade Kuz for him is because the same thing that happened to Kuz would probably happen to him, but worse, because Kuz has an upside and is getting better. Marcus Morris is already capped out. So same thing with Christian Wood. He played for a suck-ass team. Like he played for the Detroit Pistons, basketball Siberia. I met the great Blake Griffin this year at Disneyland. It was a pleasure, great guy. I feel sorry for him, the way the Clippers did him. Trash organization. But Christian Wood is not in a winning environment. You have to ask yourself, how much is he worth? How much is he going to command on the market? Some teams might be willing to overpay for Christian Wood. He's good. I like him, but is he worth more than, 8 to 10? I don't think so. I think he's a very good role player piece who you can plug in for about, 7 to 8 mil. I take it, but I think Christian's looking more for about 15. And a lot of role players are going to be looking to get overpaid, especially with what happened with COVID. A lot of people trying to secure the bag because you just never know when we might go into another basketball hiatus, especially since we might not play in the bubble again. So Christian Wood, I think he's going to be overvalued. If he's not, and he wants to win a championship, which is rare for young pieces to take discounts to come win championships. Mostly it's the veterans that are at their end of the tunnel that do that. But if he does want to win a championship, wants to come for 7 to 8, bring him on. Christian Wood can protect the rim. He can stretch the floor. He can do a little bit of everything. I like him. Do I love him? Not really, because I don't know what he can do on a winning team. A lot of players aren't meant for it, for the limelight. So it's a big difference playing in Detroit to playing in LA. Look at KCP. It took him about 3 to 4 years to adjust, or 2 to 3 years to adjust to LA. So there's a big difference. David, appreciate you, bro. He said, hey, brother, I just got here. Would you mind giving me a quick recap of this live? Appreciate you. Got you, David. Especially because you donated. So I got you, man. Basically, we covered, the basketball season potentially starting up in December 22nd. That's where the NBA has circled the schedule to start right before Christmas and right after my birthday. So that would be amazing. And then we talked a little bit about free agency. We talked a little bit about Rob Pelinka and how he plans to dominate for the next decade or so. I mean, this guy, he came in equipped. He's like the Godfather. He ain't leaving nothing behind, no crumbs. We talked about that. It was a very interesting video, bro. I recommend you rewind it and watch it from the beginning because you might miss out on some key details here, but it would take me about 30 minutes to run down everything. But thank you, David, so much for the donation, brother. I appreciate you. He said, I think players are going to take shirt contracts because of the cap space next season. Shirt contracts. I never heard of that term. I wonder what you mean by that. He said, CP3 ain't coming, period. We can't afford him and make more than LBJ and AD. No thanks. That's what I've been saying. I don't want us to trade for Chris Paul. I think that would be a colossal mistake, and that would tie up our cap space for next summer. So I doubt that Rob Pelinka does it. Like, it would have to be under special circumstances, and what I mean by that is Chris Paul opting out or getting a buyout. I'm sorry. That would be the only way I could see Rob Pelinka picking him up for cheap. But other than that, there's no way we pay this man $37 million to come and bite into our cap space, risk injury, and then just go into the playoffs with just AD and LeBron. No, that can't happen, man. But I do like Chris Paul. I like him as a player. I don't like him very much as a person. He seems like a little bit of off the court, he's fine, but on the court, he's kind of a jerk. So I'm not like a huge fan. I prefer Rondo. Rondo, I think, is better for team chemistry. I heard I don't know. I'm not an NBA player, so I don't want to really get into speculation or nothing like that. But I've heard Chris Paul's not the friendliest guy to get along with on the team. I don't know. Right now, we have great team chemistry. We don't have any drama. I like the team as is. Like I said, maybe a minor tweak, a minor addition could take us a long way. He said, Dan, what kind of contract do you think is best for AD to sign this year? Will it be a 1+1 or a 2+1 or a 3+1? I think for Anthony Davis, he has to do the best thing that's best for him, and I think that's a 1+1, meaning 1 year guaranteed. Next year, he could player option, just in case. You never know. What if, God forbid, and I don't want to, knock on wood. I'm literally on a wooden table, so knock on wood. But God forbid, LeBron gets injured, and then we can't land a max free agent, and then AD's all by himself on the team looking like New Orleans. God forbid. But yeah, that's the reason he needs to do a 1+1, because if Rob Pelinka doesn't deliver another star player, and for some crazy reason LeBron finally gets injured, like after all these years, then it would probably. I mean, for me personally, I think it's in his best interest to stay with the Lakers, no matter what, because we always build a contender, especially when we have a superstar too. But I think it'll be in his best interest to have his options open, just to apply pressure to Rob and make sure, because sometimes GMs get complacent, man. I don't think that's the case with Rob, but I'm just telling you, in my experience watching basketball over 20 years, I've seen, GMs like the Cavs, Dan Gilbert. He won a championship with LeBron, and then he mailed it in the rest of the time. He had plenty of chances to make great trades. I'm talking, he could have traded that 7th pick that turned out to be Colin Sexton. He could have traded that for another star and maybe got Cleveland another championship. You never know. But a lot of GMs get complacent, and that's why LeBron had that opt-out clause in his contract, and he was able to bounce because he had already dealt with that with Dan Gilbert. So all I'm saying is, I think Anthony Davis is going to be smart. I hope he signs a max contract, but I think he will eventually sign a max contract with us after his 1+1 when he reaches that 30. Crazy, crazy, crazy. He said, DTLF, do you think Quinn Cook can develop into more of a CP3 type guard? Oh, no. Quinn Cook will always be a role player, and he doesn't play defense. That's why he didn't get a lot of playing time this year. So I don't expect him to come back. As much as I like Quinn Cook, he's a great guy. LA native, he grew up a Laker fan. I love the kid. But, yeah, no. Chris Paul, there's very few guards with that type of skill set. And I'm just being honest with you. And Quinn Cook's not one of them. Quinn Cook's more like a Boogie Gibson. That would be his ceiling, right? Like a Daniel Gibson. You guys remember him with the Cavs? Just sniping threes. That would be a ceiling if he ever gets hot. And we saw glimpses of that this year, but just not enough defense. Hey, Dodgers up 3-0, top of the third. Let's go. Appreciate you, Rick. Thank you so much. So who's the star that fits? Great question. Look, man, when you got LeBron James and Anthony Davis, here's the beauty of it. Any star fits. Literally any star. But that's really a star. I'm not talking about a borderline star. I'm talking real stars. I'm not talking Kyle Lowry types. I'm talking real stars. I'm talking Bradley Beal, Devin Booker. I'm talking Zach LaVine. Well, he's more of a borderline star because he's doing it on a losing team. Question mark. Can he do it on a winning team? But like I said, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Giannis, basically any major name that's going to be a free agent could fit with this team. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. As long as you have the pillar that is Anthony Davis and the pillar that is LeBron, you have a very good support system there. And, whatever you put on top will be the cherry. He says, Zach shot the 3 phenomenally last season. Again, it looks great. It looks great. But how much winning did that translate to? So when he comes to the Lakers, is he gonna be okay with not taking as many shots, being smarter, spreading the rock around and letting LeBron and AD take over whenever? Big question marks. It takes a mature player to do what Kuz did, take the backseat, to do what Rondo did, to do what, anybody with any sort of skill set that could be the third option, they're going to have to take a hit. Remember, Miami Heat, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade. You guys remember what Chris Bosh was averaging with Toronto before that? I'm talking 20, 25, 26, 27 per season. Boom, gets traded. Signs with, was it a sign and trade or did he sign with Miami? I don't remember. But he goes to Miami, his production dropped off by 10 plus points. So that tells you that the third option always has to take a huge dip, and there's only enough room for a Batman and Robin to drop. There's only one basketball at the end of the day. And so, there's room for 2 major megastars, and the other one's going to have to take a little bit of a hit, look more like a role player. But again, I give major credit to Kyle Kuzma. He was great in that role. He still averaged a good amount of points, and he took a major hit. Remember, he went from averaging 17, 18 points per game his first 2 seasons to taking a dip to 14, 13 points per game. So it's something, man. He said, Dan, we need to strengthen the roster. Kuzma will want to be paid soon as he has max value. Right now, he has kind of peaked with us. I'd say shop Kuz and Danny Green and try to get the third guy, Oladipo, if healthy. All right. I mean, that's your opinion, man. But I already went over that. I'm not going to go into more Kuz trade rumors. I already basically covered those, man. He said, I think the Lakers should bring back all their players, but let JaVale McGee walk and sign DeMarcus Cousins. That's a very valid opinion. I agree. I think we don't have a lot of weaknesses. And if we could just shore up maybe one or two positions, I prefer Ibaka than DeMarcus, but I wouldn't mind DeMarcus. I think Quinn Cook should be let go. JaVale McGee should be let go. Jared Dudley, I don't mind bringing him back, but if you can fill his role with somebody who actually puts in value and production, that'd be great. Otherwise, he's great for the locker room, great veteran. I respect him. I don't mind bringing him back. But there's other options there. There's definitely other options. And who knows if we'll be able to re-sign all three of these key role players, Rondo, Dwight, and KCP. Those three, we can re-sign all three of them back. That's a major dub for the Lakers, and you can all but guarantee a championship. Now, if we lose one of them, it's going to be crucial to replace them with somebody even better. So let me give you an example. Let's just say that we lose Dwight Howard. I want Serge Ibaka. I won't settle for anything less. Maybe Christian would, but he doesn't have that playoff experience. So I prefer Serge Ibaka or somebody who can protect the rim like that. Some people have been mentioning, who they say, Willie Cauley-Stein? No, it wasn't Willie. I forgot who it was. Oh, Nerlens Noel. He is decent, but to me, Dwight is much better. Sure, that kid is younger and maybe a little bit more athletic at this stage of his career. I don't know. Dwight's pretty athletic, but I like Dwight's experience and I like Dwight's maturity this year better than everybody in the market except for one, Serge Ibaka, who's also a champion, who can stretch the floor better, and it would be an upgrade, to be honest with you. So, if Dwight wants more money, then we can turn around and maybe call Mr. Serge Ibaka. I want to see LeBron on the phone. Talking about, it's time for you to win, Serge. Come on over. So that would be an upgrade there. Let's say we lose Rondo, right? We lose Rondo. Well, we got to look at those guards, right? And we got to make sure we get in something similar to take his place or something better if it's available. So, this is what I mean by it's going to be crucial with those three pieces, what happens moving forward. And I can't wait to see what happens. Rob is a shark, and I trust in Rob, man. He gained my full trust. He led us to a championship with his, skills, managing the team and making the proper trades and signing the proper players. And I believe in him. So let's kick back, relax, and enjoy this show, man, because I'm ready. I'm ready to defend this title. Ready to defend this title. My guy said, Rondo, KCP, and Dwight Howard is a must. Dan, do you think they will sign for a minimum since they won a championship? They won't sign for a minimum. But you know what is key? Two things. Number one, we can go over the cap to re-sign our own players, but they have to be one-year deals because there's no way we got to give these guys 2-year deals. It should be a team option. Thing number two is, where was I going with this? Oh, yes. What's going to happen with that little dang cap hold that we have on the team right now? If we can clear up that cap space, then maybe we can divide it amongst our players and they'll be content with that little bit of a pay bump, at least for 1 year to come back and contend. But, many, many crucial things to defending this championship are going to matter, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm very excited, man. I want to see also what Avery Bradley will do because he's an upgrade in the perimeter, to what we already have. With KCP, if we can keep KCP, we can keep Avery, and we can keep Alex Caruso. Obviously, we're keeping Alex Caruso, but we can keep all three of those together around the perimeter defending. Teams are gonna just they're gonna be crying for help. They're gonna be crying to the refs like James Harden in the playoffs every time they go against us. So that would be something spectacular to watch. I can't wait. Hopefully Avery comes back first. He opts into his $5 million, which is very affordable for his position and the way he plays basketball. And I can't wait, man. Next season, defending the championship, we got this. Anyways, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for the question and your participation in the comment section. It's always a pleasure, guys. Keep celebrating that championship. Keep enjoying your off season. Just here to give you guys the latest updates and my thoughts on things. Let's see how things go, though. Off-season approaching real soon. I will cover all of that. I got you guys covered on the draft as well. So keep it locked right here, guys. Make sure you smash the like button. Helps the algorithm, helps the channel grow, helps the family and the fan base grow. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Enjoy the game. Dodgers playing. Let's go get it, baby. Let's go. Peace out.